Hi, and thank you so much for tuning into Let's Play today. This video is going to be an overview of what the first couple of days on my island looked like, and so I'm just going to start with a short montage of what the beginning of my island was, so enjoy! Alright, so those clips were your official introduction to my new island, Lost Falls. I'll go ahead and share my map with you so that you can kind of see what I'm gonna be designing. For some people who play this game, choosing a map is a big part of their design process. Having rivers that empty in particular directions or having a specific color airport. But for me, what really sold this map was the enormous beach rock on the left. That was it, my only thought, big beach rock. You might notice that I did place both of my villager tents and my tent on the beach, and that's something I always do deliberately, and it's actually a suggestion that I have. If you place every possible building on the beach from the beginning, you're not going to have to worry about moving them back and forth when you start terraforming. So, whether you're starting or restarting your island, I think the most important thing to do at the beginning of the game is exactly what I'm doing right here. Talk to Tom Nook. Talk to him over and over again throughout the day. If you ask what should I do, he'll tell you exactly what you need to be doing in order to progress the storyline. Talking to him will get you further, faster, and it will really just help you make the most of each in-game day. I know on my first island, I definitely didn't make the most of every day, and I didn't time travel, so it took a long time for me to do things like opening the museum and Nook's Cranny, and especially upgrading Nook's Cranny. So yeah, talking to him on the first day will be a genuine life changer. Just keep talking to him for the first few days of the game. Aside from speaking to our fearless leader Tom Nook constantly, I think we can all agree that a very important thing to do in these early days in the game is start collecting bells and Nook miles. Bells are going to allow you to acquire furniture more easily, and they're just all around good to have for paying off your loans, moving things, just a lot of stuff at the beginning of the game. And you can get these simply by, catching fish and bugs and selling them to the Nook twins. Of course, everyone has their own priorities in the game, but personally, in the beginning, I really try to collect as many Nook miles as possible. Those are going to be important for unlocking terraforming, getting the permissions. They're also going to pay off your first loan, and they're super easy to get in the beginning. I feel like my Nook phone is going off constantly with new Nook miles achievements. So a very easy way to get started with that is to simply weed. Like, just go around, pick up all your weeds. If you sell them to the Nook twins, you get a considerable number of Nook miles with this greedy weeder achievement. You can sell up to 3,000 and get more and more Nook miles for each achievement. So that's definitely an easy way to occupy yourself on the first day when you can't really do designing, and also be building up your Nook miles for when you're gonna need them. On the point of bells, a really important tip I have for you is to refrain from selling your fruit on your island to the Nook twins. You can get considerably more money selling your native fruit on an island that doesn't have the same native fruit, and vice versa. If you find fruit that isn't native to your island, you'll get a lot more bells for it, selling it at your Nook's Cranny or to the Nook twins in the beginning. And so that's just a quick way to get bells faster, is selling your fruit more efficiently. Now, if you've been talking to Tom Nook and your villagers, you should have a shovel by the second day in the game, with which you can dig up this little glowing spot in the ground. Just by digging, you'll get 1,000 bells, but if you rebury those bells instead of covering up the hole that you've dug, it'll produce a tree that triples your profits. It'll drop 3 1,000 bell bags. This stands true for up to 10,000 bell bags. If you bury a bag worth 10,000 bells, the tree will grow 3 of those bags, thus turning your 10,000 bells into 30,000. So on to my next tip. In the beginning, finding DIYs is going to be one of your priorities so that you can start building things. And every day you're going to find one of these little bottles on the beach. So you're going to want to pick that up and see what DIY it is. Eventually you'll start getting a lot of duplicates, but in the beginning every single one is new. And it's also interesting for me to see which villager they're from. So learn these, make sure you're paying attention and collecting them every day. They're going to be very important. Additionally, there are some massive benefits to starting your island later in 2020 as opposed to right after release, because now with the update, you can buy a wetsuit from Timmy at the beginning of the game when you're still in a tent for res services. And as you know, that wetsuit allows you to dive. So this area of your island that you previously couldn't reach until you had a vaulting pole is now accessible on your very first day, as long as you get the bells, buy a wetsuit, and swim over, which is a huge advantage to be able to access your entire island aside from the cliffs right off the bat. You can go ahead and see what your native flower is. You can go ahead and get all the weeds from this area as well. It's just something that I don't think you would think about when starting the game, but it does kind of let you explore a little bit more and get out of that just small area that's unlocked at the very beginning. As if you needed any more reason to try diving early in the game, you can also catch scallops to meet Pascal, who will give you mermaid DIYs and also pearls. Now that you have your DIYs, you're going to need resources to craft them, and while you can farm resources easily on your own island, I find it particularly helpful to farm resources from mystery islands. On these islands, you can find more weeds to reach your Greedy Weeder achievement, but you can also shake trees to find which tree on the island has a piece of furniture, and you can collect more fruit, sometimes different from your native. Also, take coconuts back home with you, and you can start planting palm trees on your beach as well. Next, if you've been speaking to Tom Nook, then you know that you'll need at least one of each new fish or insect that you find in order to open up your full museum, as opposed to just Blathers' tent. These can take up a lot of storage space in the beginning when you can't just donate whenever you want to, so I suggest storing them outside wherever you've placed Blathers' tent. That way you can donate them as needed and they won't be taking up storage or inventory space when you're so limited. You may also learn cute new things about the critters you place, such as the fact that some of them have really cute cages or even no cage at all, like this turtle, which you can place anywhere, almost like it's your little island pet. And now for my final segment of advice. I highly recommend inviting a friend over if you have one who plays Animal Crossing and is more advanced in the game than you. They can bring you bells or any extra DIYs that they have, as well as all the fruits that you need, and it'll just really jumpstart your island and help you bypass some of the early frustrations. All you need in order to do this is a Nintendo Switch Online membership, and if you don't have one, you can always try the 7-day trial just to let your friend come over once. As you can see, I've invited myself over for a little Lexception. I'm bringing my other account with an outfit that I'd like because I think we can all agree that the starter outfit is a tragedy. And then I've also brought myself several other items that I think are essential for the beginning of the game. Obviously, this is just a suggestion, and you can get through the game very easily on your own. You don't need to have a friend come over. This sort of expedites the process for finding DIYs and building Nook's Cranny, which will require 30 iron nuggets, among other resources. And so I just personally found it really convenient to do that, as well as to bring myself some bells just to start out. As I said, it's also super helpful to have a friend drop an outfit for you that you like, since it is a little bit of time, whether you time travel or not, before you get Mabel and all of the Able sisters clothing. So it can just be really encouraging to have a cute outfit in the beginning and also to be able to customize your hair. and that is at the price of your friend's dignity, but if they care about you, they will bring you clothing. Depending on how resourceful your friend is, it's also super helpful if they could bring golden tools, because if you hold them, you don't even need the DIY. If you hold each of the golden tools, you'll unlock several of the Nook Miles achievements. So you can see here that I pick up each of the 6 tools, and when I open my Nook phone, I'll have a ton of new miles, literally thousands, just for holding these gold tools. It also unlocks a few titles for you, so that's exciting, and it's just all around a good idea if you're trying to collect these Nook Miles for whatever reason, whether it's opening up more pocket space, getting the tool ring, opening up new hairstyles. There are a lot of reasons to spend Nook Miles in the beginning, and this will set you up for success. Even if your friend doesn't have golden tools or you don't want them, you'll get Nook Miles just for having your friend over. While I certainly didn't cover every single thing you need to do at the beginning of the game, I definitely think that Tom Nook will lead you in the right direction, and I hope that these tips have been helpful for you. Some of them didn't apply in March, but they do now post updates, and I hope these little tips and tricks will help you get started with your island quicker. Thank you again for watching Lex play, and just to wrap up this little video, here's a message from my sister.
I hope you have a great day, everybody!